There's a great Chinese expression, a great old proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
When you think about financial plan, what comes to mind? For many people, it's quite scary, it's daunting, and it feels like it's this complicated thing that you need to have lots of moving parts to. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to make a financial plan using a one-pager that I've designed for you in 3 very simple steps. So let's jump straight in, but let's get into some of the fundamental stuff that we need to know first. Simply put, a financial plan is a roadmap for your money. It's simply there to help you understand what you want to achieve and how your money is going to help you achieve that. More importantly, is there to help you track your progress and also to help you stay consistent and accountable to yourself for the plan that you've set, and more importantly, the goals that you've set. And goals are an important thing. We all have goals, right? We have fitness goals, we have business goals, we have employment goals. Some of the times though, we don't necessarily have a goal that is aligned to maybe life objectives that are tied to our finances, so financial goals specifically. And I talk about this in my book. If we walk through life with all kinds of other goals, but nothing specifically around our finances, then how are we going to use our finances as a tool to help us achieve those things and move forward in life? So what type of things might you assign a financial plan to? What type of goals? Well, there are numerous. You might want to buy your first property. You might want to pay down debt. You might be saving for school fees for your children. You might want to invest for the first time. You might want to have a plan or a financial goal towards taking a holiday of a lifetime. These could be multiple things, and they could all be running simultaneously as well. But the important thing is that you understand precisely what your goal is and have a plan that runs in conjunction with that goal.
Dreams without goals are just dreams.
Come on.
And ultimately, they fuel disappointment.
Exactly.
On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply. This all comes from Pastor Bernard. I just stole it.
It sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar. You must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency, because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
You know, I love that quote by Denzel Washington because he's right. If you have a dream, but you don't have a goal, you have no chance of your dream coming true. It's like getting into a car, driving to a place that you've never been before, but you forget the sat nav and you forget your map. And you're just hoping that you're going to land on the right road and end up at the right destination with no guidance whatsoever. You know, a financial plan is there to give you the steps that you need to take. It's your helping hand, it's your guardian angel, if you will. And so having one is crucial. And what I want to do for the rest of this video is actually dive into the really important bit that you need to know, and that is how to make a financial plan in 3 simple steps. Step 1 is you really need to be clear on what your goal is to begin with. Now, I run coaching sessions with people all the time, and when I ask people what the goal is, they can very quickly tell me, okay, I want to start investing or I want to buy a house for the first time. But the important thing about this is being specific and pulling out specificity. Let's use the example of purchasing your first home. So the questions that you need to ask yourself are, well, what kind of house do you want to buy? Is it a flat? Is it a semi-detached? Is it a detached house? In what location? Is it Romford? Is it in Mayfair of London? Or is it somewhere, I don't know, in Shropshire where I live? Prices for those properties will be very, very, very different. And knowing the price of the property is key. If you want to buy a place in Romford and it's a detached house, you'll know by going onto Zoopla or maybe one of the property sites that the average property price is X. That number is important. The next question is, well, how much of a deposit do you want to put down to give yourself the best chance of getting on the property ladder and being able to afford the mortgage repayments? For some people that may be 10%, for some people that might be 20%. So let's just say you're looking for a house in Romford, and let's just assume it's £350,000 that you get this property for. I'm making this up, I don't know what property prices in Romford look like, but £350,000 is the target here, right? 10% deposit means you need £35,000. That's specific, that's specificity. Because now we know that you need to work towards getting £35,000 to get you on the property ladder. But you need to ask further questions from that. You then need to ask yourself, how long are you going to give yourself? Are you giving yourself a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years? What are you playing with? Because understanding what timeline you're giving yourself will allow you to divide that £35,000 into yearly and monthly targets. Now, as the old saying goes, you don't eat an elephant all in one go. You put it and take it out in bite-sized chunks. The same thing applies here. Same thing applies with all of this. So we're looking for manageable steps, manageable targets that you can achieve on a monthly basis. Now, I'm not going to do the maths off the top of my head. I'll pop the numbers on screen right here. But let's just say £35,000 over the course of 5 years. This is what your monthly target will be. That is a tangible goal that you can work towards. That's step number one. Now, step number two, obviously, we live in a world where, unfortunately, money is not a finite, infinite, I should say, resource for many of us. It is finite. And if that is the case for you, you'll be earning a certain amount of money per month, and your money has to obviously cover your existing bills, your livelihood, living life as much as you possibly can, and towards this very specific goal of gaining £35,000 for a house deposit within a 5-year period. You now know what the monthly amount is. So the question is, with the income that you have and the expenses that you have going out of your account on a monthly basis, do you have enough disposable income to meet that number? If you don't, it then becomes a question of restructuring your finances in order to make room for that number. This is really important, guys. And for some people, achieving a goal like buying your first home, as unattainable as it's become recently, for many people, it is one of those situations where people stare down the barrel of either having to increase their income, generate side hustles in some way, shape, or form, or go for promotions. And I don't know what your situation is and what scenarios you'll be looking at, but it's really important to, number one, maximize the resources that you already have. You may have to go out and earn more money. You may have to seek a promotion. You may have to start a side hustle. But managing the resources that you have and optimizing those become a priority. That's step number two. Step number three is probably the most important one of all, and that is consistency. You can set a goal and you can start with all the best intentions, but as time wears on, it's very, very easy to lose focus. So consistency and understanding, right, how am I going to keep myself accountable to this goal? And here's a few things that you can do and things that have worked for me. Where you can, if you found out within the second step of your finances that you've got disposable income and you need to make sure that you can transfer this money to X account so that you can acquire and accumulate your deposit over that 5-year period, automate the process as much as you possibly can. Standing orders. What you want to be able to do is remove the ability or the inability for you to not fulfill that action of transferring the money to your account. So automate as much as you possibly can. And if you are able to, and this is something that has worked for me in my career, it's been priceless, is find yourself an accountability buddy. This could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be anyone, but someone that is going to keep you on track to your goals. Now, you might be in a couple where you are taking this as a joint effort to buy your first home together. Hold each other accountable. And it might mean that you have check-ins once every 3 months, once every 6 months to say, right, let's see where we are. Have we put in the amount of money that we said we're going to put in? Have we kept to the schedule? If you haven't, also be very honest with yourself as to why. What were the shortcomings? Were there any shortcomings? Were there temptations that you perhaps gave into that your accountability buddy should have given you a little tap on the shoulder for? Honesty is really important, accountability is really important, but more importantly, consistency is absolutely key, because otherwise you're going to set your goal, you're going to set your plan, and you may not achieve it. That takes discipline, and that third step is where the discipline will really come to bear fruit. That's how you build a financial plan in 3 simple steps. Now, what I've done is I've created a 1-pager which you can pick up. There will be a link in the description, which will help you document all of this and put this in paper. And one thing that I am really, really big on is if you believe in vision boards and visualizing things, writing things down, putting them on the wall, it helps massively, because every morning when you wake up, if you've put this down in paper, frame it, you look at it. For me, when I was looking to purchase this house, actually, that I'm sitting in right now, I had a vision board. And every single day when I went to work, or when I was going to bed late, or getting up early in the morning and driving 1,000 miles during that period of time when I was in Canary Wharf, I'd look at that vision board and remind myself why I was doing it. And that for me was my accountability buddy. So being able to visualize it is really important. You can download the one page that I've designed for you there. It isn't free, it is £7.50. It's not gonna break the bank. It's like, I don't know, how much is a cup of coffee at Starbucks now? Probably about that. So it's a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But also with that, you're gonna get a more in-depth tutorial of how to use it so that you can really bring out what your goals and your plan is and how to structure the financial part of this. If you have any questions at all, put it down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and look, good luck with your financial plan and your goals.